Hey there, welcome to Lunch Break Reviews Movie Minnesota. Need a quick break from work? You've come to the right place here. We take a TV show, comic, or movie from the realms of awesomeness and break it down for you lunch break style. I'm Bradley Button, your self-proclaimed emperor of awesome. Let's jump right in and see if today's picks are worth the bite or pick. That's all right. Okay, so today talking about Gladiator 2. This was a huge weekend for movies. We have Gladiator 2 and we have Wicked. Both of them are awesome. It's hashtag Glickit, I guess. Whatever. But I haven't given any of this the lunch break style review slash lunch break point system. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to do Gladiator 2. The top billing on this is directed by Ridley Scott, written by David Scarpa, Peter Craig, David Franzoni. Main cast includes Connie Nielsen, Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, Fred Hetchinger, Derek Jacobi, Yuval Gonin. Just a little bit of background. This came out on the 22nd of November. IMDb currently has this rated at a 7 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes currently has it at 72% on the tomato meter and an 84% on the popcorn meter. We'll see where I end up putting it once we get to the lunch break point system and go from there. I do have a quick synopsis here. After his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors, yes, that's plural, who now lead Rome, Lucius, spoiler, is forced to enter the Colosseum and must look to his past to find strength to return the glory of Rome to its people. So I have a critic's consensus on this one. This one is just simply this. Echoing its predecessor while upping the blood sporting camp, Gladiator 2 is an action extravaganza that derives much of its strength and honor from Denzel Washington's scene-stealing performance. Denzel kicks a lot of ass in this show, in this movie. All right, I have a bad review. Let's get into it. All right, this is a 1 out of 10, and it is from XRSHTFG, Shifty, I don't know, dated on the 13th of November, and it is titled, Terrible Film Trying to Hang on the Coattails of the Former. Warning, spoilers. It was always going to be hard to live up to its predecessor, but personally, I thought it was a shambles. There was no depth to the storyline, and it seemed they tried to capture too much in one film. Other than the main character, there is no sense of background understanding to the other characters. For instance, Denzel's story as to how he got to his become a powerful just outside of Rome comes out of nothing. Okay, yeah, sorry, this person worded that weird. Sometimes the script appeared desperately void of ideas on how to tell a story. There was a scene with Lucius and his mom where he tells her to sod off. Then 10 minutes later, he embraces her. The lack of quality in the script was synonymous throughout, and instead the film seems reliant on using battle scenes to keep you entertained. The battle scenes were also quite lame, and I am also not a fan of the sci-fi mix into historical dramas. The monkey scene was a push, but you lost me at the shark scene. Okay, I'll get into that. I kind of agree with that. See that part there? In all, it tried to repeat the same storyline as Gladiator 2. Of Gladiator 2? T-O-O or 2. And they put a number 2. I think they meant 2. T-O-O. But failed to develop any meaningful storyline or character development. The script was dreadful in comparison to the first, and it seems to just be cashing in on the success of the first. All right, you know what? Let's do another bad review, and then maybe we can talk about it a little bit. So here we go. Another bad review. Oh, this is a 1 out of 10 from Des Fagan. On the 16th of November, it's spelled Decfegan. Desfagan. I like it. All right, this is titled Awful, Awful, Awful Megalopolis Level, and that is the title that drew me in. Let's see what they have to say. Number one, visually worse, cheaper than Gladiator. Whoever made the CGI monkey should be fired. Also, why monkeys? Maybe I do know they could fight other gladiators. Two, fight choreography, terrible. Looked fake and exaggerated. Three, script equals terrible. Pompous writing that tried to have depth but missed the mark every time. Four, no logic or rational connection to the story or of Gladiator. Why did Lucius have to leave Rome when Gladiator 1 ended on everything going on? Warning, spoilers. No attempts even made to bridge that. 5. Paul Mescal miscast. No charisma on camera. Visually looked awkward and sounded like a punch-drunk Rocky when he spoke. Did kinda. 6. Too many main characters. The Emperor's brothers sucked. Denzel, Paul Mescal, the mother, unnecessary side characters with unnecessary scenes and dialogue that didn't contribute to the story. For example, Marcimus's gladiator guard had way too many scenes, but he contributed zero to the story or to the enjoyment of the film. So what was the point of having him with so much screen time? Stupid. 7. Chaotic structure and flow. It felt like they tried to do way too much all at once and there was no crescendo or arc, but instead there was a high volume of small and medium moments that were out of place and badly timed instead of build up to one or two arcs, just like Napoleon, also a hot mess. 8. Reminded me of Megalopolis. The terrible CGI, the over-the-top dramatic and Shakespearean-type acting styles, the incoherence of the story and flow, disaster. Weird time to be alive. I feel like an AI chatbot wrote the entire movie story and script. Is it a sign of the times that there is such a huge gap between this movie and the beauty of Gladiator 1? We have advanced massively in cinema tech, graphics, etc., but have we gotten stupider overall, both as creators and consumers? I don't know. Anyway, 1 star. So this is the best battle review I think I've ever read. This guy makes very, very logical points and maybe even changes my review a little bit on this one. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, the shark scene is not good and the monkey CGI not good. But with that, let's get into some good reviews. This is a 10 out of 10 and from Elvis Del Valle on the 19th of November and is called The Immortal Offspring of a Gladiator. After 24 years, Ridley Scott decides to continue the story of one of his best films, focusing on Maximus's son. Spoiler alert, it was not an easy thing knowing that Maximus's family had been executed in the previous film, but Ridley took advantage of 2 elements from the previous film for this new story. The previous film has never told anything about Lucius's father, and the kiss between Maximus and Lucilla indicated that at some point they were lovers, when Maximus was still under the service of Aurelius. With these ambiguous details, it was enough to create the story focus on Lucius to make a direct connection with the previous film without having to create derivative story. Ridley Scott knew how to create a sequel that remains well linked to the canon of the previous film, and it was something that was already planned since the release of the first film. Carrying out this project took too long because DreamWorks had sold the rights to Paramount. Lucius, Lucilla, and Grasso are the only characters that connect with the previous film. It's clear that a lot has happened because the story is set 16 years after Maximus's triumph. Rome is now under the control of 2 twin emperors who are clearly inspired by Caligula in their attitude. Like the previous film, there are betrayals and conspiracy to overthrow the tyrannical government. Basically, it's like the story from the previous film is repeated, but in a different way. What sets this film apart from its predecessor is that there are more action scenes and more blood. Gladiator reflected the brutality and corruption of the Roman Empire. In this film, that is doubled by showing a more raw image of the brutality of that time. The film follows much the same path as the Spartacus series. There is more focus on action, making the story feel a little shorter, but you can appreciate the fight of the gladiators a lot more. Admittedly, the production quality is better than the previous film, although both are still an excellent representation of Rome in the days as a world power. While Gladiator was somewhat of a worthy revival for epic cinema, Gladiator 2 is a terrific sequel that lives up to its predecessor. The original film may not have needed a sequel at the time, but the fact that a sequel came out over 20 years later has given us a renewed appreciation for the work that Russell Crowe has become so popular for. My final rating for this film is 10 out of 10. Okay, one more good review. This is a 10 out of 10 from Cedo Mo James, 15 on the 15th of November. This is called Masterpiece. Warning, spoilers. Absolutely love this movie. May just be my favorite release this year. Paul Mescal held his own as the lead. Though this didn't have the backstory and character development of the first film, this focused more on retribution, and that doesn't that away from the rating I'm giving. Whatever. They are connected, but it's different times with similar themes and years of bloodshed and the depreciation of Roman Empire. So the focus was obviously different. Why do people want this to be like the first film? Lucius brought home what Maximus started. I think they should have made Lucilla's love interest Quintus. It would have probably been better suited, but nevertheless, Pedro still did a fantastic job too. The fight scenes were great. I love the line, "Where death is, we are not. Where we are, death is not. Strength and honor." I personally enjoyed. All right, and we got two good, we got two bad. Where do you fit in? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like parts of it? Did you not like parts of it? What part didn't you like? For me, I did not like the Navy scene in the Coliseum. I guess it's historical accurate. They did do that, but great white sharks in there that were, yeah, no, I don't think so. Anyway, it is time to put Gladiator 2 on the lunch break point system. For a reminder, I got 5 categories and then 3 extra categories if we feel like we can give it any extra points or if it needs it. We've got a main course. How satisfying is it overall? Side dish. Supporting elements like cast and cinematography. Spice level. Is it exciting or intense? Leftover appeal. Would you want to watch it again? And dessert. The extra special something that makes it memorable. Let's start with main course. I was satisfied with the movie. Is it my favorite movie of the year? No, it's not. But I really enjoyed it. And I felt there was a lot. It felt like a Gladiator movie. Even if I didn't know a lot about it, I could still put it with the first Gladiator. And for that reason, I'm giving this a 4. Side dish. Supporting elements like cast and cinematography. Man, I had to give this a 5. I felt the flavor was right. You know what? No, I'm not going to give it a 5. I'm going to give this a 4 because I am going to change it a little bit. I think a 4 seems right on this just because there wasn't a lot of Gladiator on Gladiator. There's a couple of scenes, but it's more about the animals. And I want the fighting scene. I want the Gladiator and Gladiator. But for that, Paul Mescal as the lead wasn't 100%, I didn't like it all the time. I thought he was okay. I thought he was good. Connie Nielsen was great. Denzel Washington was really good. So I think we're going to do 4. Spice level. Is it exciting or intense? Yeah, 100%. A 5. All right. Leftover appeal. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I'll watch it again. If the chance arises and somebody wants to go watch it with me, I'll sit through it again. I don't think I'm going to pick up anything. I don't think I'm not going to look forward to it, but if I will see it again. So let me give that a 3. And dessert, the extra special something that makes it memorable. It's a Gladiator sequel. and something that we've kind of wanted headcanon for that for a long time. I like the way that they used Lucius, but like that bad review said, they didn't even give him a chance to try to fix after the end of the first movie. So why did Maximus even fight it? So I'm giving that a 3. So right now we have 8. We have 14. We have 19 points, and I think we can do one extra point to get this up to 20, and we're going to give it for break room talk. Does it spark so points are going to be sort of snack factor, quick fun, easy to digest, lunch crowd, broad appeal for all audience, or break room talk, sparks conversation long after a viewing. I think the Lucius thing and the fact that it's Maximus's son, I think that's going to be talked about. I think it's a good spoiler. I think it's a good twist. So we're going to go up to 20 points on this. And right now, it's in second for the movies that have made the lunch break point system. I got Heretic at 22 points, Red 1 at 14, and I got Gladiator 2 at 20. So let's see. Where would you put it on this? I want to know. Talk to me. Do you agree with the review? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more quick reviews every week. Thanks for tuning in to Lunch Break Reviews. For more bite-sized reviews of the latest TV shows, movies, comics, and everything else, follow and let me know your thoughts. Want to join the conversation? Reach out, and maybe you'll be the next guest on Nerd Positive. Have a good day.